Hey Troop 899, Scoutmaster Adam here with another Scoutmaster Minute. This week we're going to talk about backpacks, but before I dive in, I just want to really welcome our new members. It was really awesome yesterday to get to participate in your Arrow of Light ceremony as well as your crossover ceremony, and we're very excited to have all 9 of you join us on our adventures in the troop. So with that, let's kind of dive into some backpack conversation. So we're actually going to go on what I'm going to call an introductory backpacking trip in a couple of weeks. We're going to go to Kings Mountain State Park, and while we'll be staying at the state park and staying in the campgrounds, we are going to do a kind of an out and back hike before we set up. And what that means is you are basically going to have to carry everything that you need for this weekend. So I wanted to go through some packs because a lot of folks don't maybe have the knowledge or have the understanding of what you're really looking for when you go. So just to kind of get started, you have all kinds of stuff. This is a hydration backpack that I think I picked this up at Walmart. It's actually got a decent waistband, and there's about 18 liters worth of storage in this pack. When you see that number like this, for this one, 18 liters, that means that you can fit 18 liters worth of stuff inside of this pack. So not a very big pack. I wouldn't even use this as a day hike pack personally. This is actually my youngest son Micah's pack for when we do little bits of stuff, and really all he's carrying is just his clothes. So something like this, probably not real adequate for what you're looking for. Next up, this pack is a 30-liter pack. Again, it's got a decent waistband, it's got good padded straps, can fit about 30 liters worth of stuff. This one actually has a spot for a hydration bladder in it as well. If I were going by myself for just a single overnighter, this might be something that I would carry just because I've only got very limited amount of stuff, but there's no real attachment points or anything like this. This is more of like my everyday bag, about the same size as what your book bag is for school. So again, not necessarily something you're looking for, but this might be good for scout camp to carry your stuff back and forth to your merit badges, things like that. On the opposite end of the spectrum, this is my personal pack. I got this at Bass Pro Shops. It's an Ascend brand, which is the Bass Pro Shop brand. But this pack here is actually a 90-liter pack. And I will tell you, if I have any of my scouts show up to an event with a 90-liter pack, I'm going to send them home because it means you've got way too much stuff. I personally have used this for multi-day treks, where I'm out for carrying 7 days worth of gear, things like that. None of our scouts need anything this big, okay? So 90 liters, way too much. However, there are some kind of benefits to that. Being an internal frame pack, everything fits inside, so if it is raining, it's easy to cover it with a pack cover or even a garbage bag at that point. Everything has its own place because there's so many different gear spots for everything, but again, way too big, not something you need. Next up, this is Solomon's pack, and this is really kind of an ideal size for scouts. The longest trips we're going to be doing anytime in the near future would be maybe 2 nights, 3-day kind of a trip. So something like this is more than adequate. This is actually a 65-liter pack. This brand, Mountaintop, it's a pretty reputable brand. It's pretty rugged ripstop material, so it's actually something that I would recommend. We got it on Amazon. I think it was about $60 when we bought this pack. Comes in all kinds of different colors, but the nice thing about it is there are some straps on the top where you can fit some additional attachments like a foam pad or your tent. There's some straps on the bottom for you to hang like a tripod chair. You've got some straps on the sides to hang some things too. For some reason, everything doesn't fit on the inside. But my favorite thing about this pack is on the fitting side. So I think we can all recognize that, our brand new scouts, for example, our 11-year-old scouts are very different than our scouts that are 16, 17 years old, and just in the shape and size of them. This pack here actually has a little more than 8 inches of adjustability in the torso. Because of that, that's why I'm going to recommend a pack like this. Again, 55 or 65 liters is pretty ideal, but a pack this size, you can fit everything in it that they would need for a weekend trip, and then it's going to grow with the scout. So it's really pretty simple. you just undo the Velcro and loosen the straps and put it where it needs to go, and then lock it back down. So, we've got some pretty small scouts in our troop. I'll use Brady or one of our new scouts, Grant, for example, are really small fellas versus, someone like our SPL, Mr. Shoop, who, he's, about to get into a senior year of high school, or Ben, who's about ready to go into their senior year of high school. They're a little bigger boys than our younger scouts. So this would fit, both ranges and then everything in between. So something like that is pretty ideal. A couple of other things to look for as you're getting ready to purchase a pack. On the insides, you want to make sure that it's big enough in there to really kind of fit some things in, but even more importantly, you want to be able to make sure you can section some things out. So this pack here has a lower compartment that is separated from the upper compartment. The lower compartment is great for your clothes because it all just kind of fits in there and is easily accessible, where the top is where you would want to put your sleeping bag and maybe your tent or some your cooking gear, things like that. So again, it's a very versatile pack. It's really kind of an ideal setup for me or for Solomon, and that's something that I would encourage. Now when it comes to colors, again, to me it doesn't really matter what you get. However, I will say brighter color packs are a whole lot easier to see in the woods than darker color packs. So help us out, make it a little easier for us to keep track of gear and whatnot. So with that in mind, as we're looking to kind of do some more of these trips like this, I think a backpack is very important. Backpacks are versatile too. It allows you to carry your stuff to even a regular camp out and keep everything contained. Again, kind of that mentality. If it doesn't fit, you probably shouldn't be bringing it. But at 55 or 65 liters, you've got enough space to fit pretty much anything in there that you would need. So I will include the link to this pack from where I bought it on Amazon for you in the description of this video. So if you want to go take a look, by all means go for it. You're not required to buy this pack or this brand, but I think if you compare what you are looking at to this style of pack, or to this kind of a pack that fits really well, I think you'll be in a really good spot. So I want to make sure that you are making the best investment you possibly can. So again, you don't have to buy this specific pack, but something like this will really help your scout down the road. So with that in mind, I look forward to seeing everybody on Monday, and welcome to the... Okay, I've got a bonus tip for you here. Again, when we're looking at backpacks, 65 liters sounds like a lot, but when you start cramming a sleeping bag and a tent and everything else that kind of needs to come along with you, it's really not that much space. So with that in mind, stuff sacks become very important. This is actually the exact same sleeping bag and the exact same stuff sack. You just got one that's compressed down and one that's not. And you can see that it saves about half the amount of space. So when you're looking at sleeping bags or your current sleeping bag, recognize that the bag that it comes in is just a cheap bag. It's great for containing it, it's great for storing it on a shelf, but maybe not the best thing to bring it in when we're going on a trip where we're doing some hiking that involves you to carry your stuff. Some of these stuff sacks are absolutely lifesavers when it comes to fitting the stuff that you need to fit into your pack. These ones I got on Amazon for about 10 bucks. So again, I'll include the link in the video. But stuff sacks, they will absolutely make your life easier.